Today's big number, $3 million. That's how much Ireland hopes to raise from an auction from its bad bank assets. One item on the block is artwork that was put up for collateral by real estate investor Derek Quinlan to cover some of his property bets that turned sour. Andy Warhol's dollar sign is among the pieces to be auctioned off in November, and it's expected to sell for as much as $600,000. Well, that real estate bust walloped Ireland's banks and sent the economy into a tailspin. A Bloomberg survey of economists says growth may have slowed in the second quarter of the year because of tax hikes and unemployment. Joining us now is Ireland's Deputy Prime Minister, Eamon Gilmore. Taoiseach, welcome to InBusiness. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be with you, Margaret.
The expectations that the second half of the year will show slower growth for Ireland as you take these painful austerity measures. You need to grow to be able to pay back the loans that Ireland took in that bailout. What can you tell us about what's happening now?
Well, first of all, I think all of the independent commentators and international opinion is of the view that the Irish economy will return to growth this year for the first time in 3 years. Secondly, we have taken a number of decisions since the new government took office in March of this year. Firstly, to recapitalise our banks. The restructuring of the banks is working. We're beginning to see private sector investment returning to our banking system. Secondly, we have complied with the terms of the programme that we agreed with the EU, the IMF and the ECB, and we're very much on target to meet the objectives in that programme. Thirdly, we are getting down our budget deficit. We are implementing a range of reform measures in order to get down the deficit. And fourthly, our trade figures have improved dramatically over the course of the past year. We're seeing an increase in exports in the order of about 10%. And we're now focused on encouraging increased investment in Ireland in order to create jobs.
Well, talk to me about some of those investment opportunities. Ireland is looking to sell some state assets. What will be on the block?
Well, as part of the programme that we agreed with the EU, the IMF and the ECB, it was agreed that there would be a sale of some state assets in order to meet the objectives. The government recently made a decision in respect of our electricity supply company that we would sell a minority shareholding in that. The manner in which that sale will be conducted and the amount that we will raise from it is something that is yet to be determined. But we have made that decision and our hope is that we will be able to use the proceeds of the sales in order to generate employment and to stimulate the economy.
But you need permission to do that from the Troika. Sir, you know, Ireland gets a lot of credit for taking austerity measures before they really were pushed to do so. But as your finance minister said, a Greek cough is an Irish cough. What does Ireland do to protect itself against a Greek default?
Well, firstly, by implementing the programme that Ireland has agreed, and by ensuring that Ireland will be a story of recovery. And I think right across Europe now, I think there is a growing view that Ireland...
But what is Ireland's plan B? If Greece defaults, the market says there's a 96% chance they will. What does Ireland do to protect itself?
Well, the plan has to be in order to ensure that the European economy recovers and that the problems that there are with the euro, that they're addressed. And there have been a number of very firm decisions that have been taken at European level, which need to be implemented. In particular, there were decisions taken at a European summit on the 21st of July, which provide for a permanent stability mechanism for the euro, which provide for increased support for the European funds that support the euro. Those measures need to be implemented. And I think one of the difficulties that we saw, particularly in August, was that there appeared to be uncertainty about whether some countries would implement the decisions that were taken on the 21st of July. I think it is now the case that it is increasingly clear that throughout Europe those decisions will be implemented, and we believe that that will have the effect of stabilising the situation and improving the overall European outlook.
But do you worry, though, that that increased uncertainty about your neighbors who aren't taking austerity measures quite as quickly could complicate the plans you have?
Well, obviously we're influenced by what is happening in Europe. But it's not something that we're going to be passive about. Ireland is taking a very active role in the discussions in Europe about what needs to be done. And we are pointing in particular to the measures that we are taking in Ireland to bring about recovery. We had I suppose we were the victims of what you might call a perfect economic storm. We have got the situation in hand. We're now dealing with it. We're turning it around. We're going to be back in growth. We are exporting. We're increasing inward investment in the country. We are very anxious to communicate that Ireland is a very good place in which to invest. And we're working constructively with our other European partners in order to address the problems that there have been in the euro and in the European economy.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. Deputy Prime Minister Eamon Gilmore joining us here right on In Business.